Good afternoon, YouTubers. This is Dr. Cecily, Fulfilling Your Destiny. Welcome to my channel, and if you like, please push the like button. If you have any comments, just make a comment in the comment section. So I'm very excited about what God is doing because I want to shout out to Henny Truth, Elite Pampering. He flies in back and forth from Belize, and hopefully he'll be coming back soon because I can share with him what he had shared with me in December. He does massages and he flies back and forth from Belize. Of course, he's been down because of the COVID-19, but he flies back and forth from Belize to Atlanta and also Chicago that I know of. And so I was talking to him, and he told me in December, he said, and I knew I was supposed to do a YouTube channel, but you got to wait for God's timing. And I knew that I had another assignment that I was completing, and it totally took all my time, and that was completing my PhD in doctrine and philosophy. And the reason why I keep on saying that because I'm so glad that God really did that for me. Because it was a miracle. Because they told me in May that if you don't get out of here, you can't continue because they have standards on how long you can take. It has something to do with the money and also for the credits. But I'm so glad. So for those who want to rejoice with me, rejoice with me. But I got something to share with the women and for fulfilling your destiny. Now, when I shared with you in the last video, I talked about down here in Georgia. I was in Clayton County in 2005, 2 years, everything just shut down. I went down to get my mom just to recap, and came back here in 2007 in Kennesaw, and this is where God directed me. Of course, I had a group of people. We prayed like for 3 years, or maybe like from 2003 to 2005, and we came down here in September 2005, but in Clayton County. But I want to share a little thing about, because I talked about dating in my last video, and before there I talked about a little about the weather and what Cobb County is about. Now they call Cobb County Marietta people because mostly the African Americans and blacks are located in Marietta, which is still 30 minutes from Atlanta, and also Cobb County is like 30 minutes from downtown Atlanta, but they're right next to each other. And also, you can be Marietta, and I think it could be Cobb County also. But just to recap, let me talk about the weather. The weather is really nice this year. Like right now, we've been having like 80 something. That's high. I mean, that's unusual. When I came down in 2005, it was so hot because if you come from the north, remember, your blood got to thin out. So when I came down here in September 2005, I had to literally wait until the sun went down before I can go out, because it was just that hot. Oh, they got bugs. Ooh, look like them killer hornets. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't get bit, right? Okay. So the weather is real nice, but realize, so right now we've been having 84 weather and 70s. A lot of rain, but we need a lot of rain because realize that Georgia is made specifically, they got beautiful trees, but they don't have a lot of natural lakes. Their lakes and streams are man-made. Now, as far as the weather, like I said, the weather is perfect this year, but generally it's really, really hot, but you don't have snow. Like these last couple of years when we had that little thing with the snow, that's only happened like 2 or 3 times, but they usually doesn't stay. And also they don't use the same thing they use as up in the north. They don't use the same type of they don't use salt on the roads. So just realize that if you are going to move into an apartment, realize that you may have to come down a flight of 3 stairs. So just be prepared. But we don't have that much snow. But getting back to the weather, we have a lot of flooding. The reason is they built up Atlanta and the suburbs so quickly that they did not make a lot of manholes. So I figured that out when I looked, because I didn't see a lot of manholes. But you remember, they were just building up so fast, they didn't build a lot of manholes, so you get a lot of flooding. Another thing, the drivers, I'm trying to keep my notes so I can stay on target. But the drivers, people drive too fast. And let me tell you about the makeup of Georgia. When you come down here, you may find maybe 5%, if 1%, if that, or 3% that's actually born, raised in Georgia. Okay, everybody else is from everywhere else, even though they act like they live here and were born here. Another thing is too, a lot of the driving accidents are caused by people just sleep deprived. They got 2 and 3 jobs because remember, the cost of living, they say, is lower. But I think in terms of the housing, it's still high. The affordable housing, it's just high to me. Not as high as California, but it's high. So let me just say this for you Christians and you empaths and you retired mothers who want to help your daughters and your son-in-laws and your sons and daughter-in-laws. Let me tell you, beware. Because I knew in 2000, I think it's around 2007, when I was in Clayton County, this black lady, she was a Christian. We went to Dr. Battle's church. Uh, and what happened was she had told me, last time I seen her, we used to go to food bank together to help volunteer. The next time I seen her, this lady was on strong narcotics because she was just about to lose her mind because she had took her retirement money instead of getting her own place, which I'm advising you women who are on your second career or you women that have retired or whatever, get your own place. And if you want to buy a condo or a house, get an apartment first and then get a feel of what it is, and don't do nothing over the phone. There are so many scams, so let me advise you. So what she did was she came down, helped put money into the house, just furnished the whole house, and I pray for that woman today, and I hope that she recovered. But she was like almost in shock when I seen her. She was taking strong narcotics to calm her nerves. So her daughter and her son-in-law, they moved out the house and left that woman with I guess lost the bills. Those bills could have been put in her will keep. And so just know, Christians, just because they're your family, don't go out on a limb for them, especially when you get older and you think, well, maybe you can go live with them. No, have your own place. Now, that was in 2007. I just talked to my friend Karen. She works in assisted living. She works with the Alzheimer's, the dementia, and then the regular population. Don't have no assistance. She said one of the elderly residents there went and paid, took out a loan. See, that's what the Bible said. Do not take out money or property or co-sign for somebody. He co-signed. God said, don't co-sign for somebody. It's in the Bible. I'm gonna find it for you one time, unless you can pay. So he took out a co-sign for his daughter and his son-in-law. That was in March. Come to find out, he just found out last week they ain't paid not one penny. So I'm just telling you, you Christians, you people that retired, look out for yourself, okay? Let your family sometimes, like I said, unless he can pay it back, but it sounds like to me he can't. Unless you're going to co-sign for somebody, be willing to pay if they can't pay. That's the only time. So let me talk about, so that has to do with your family. So you have to make sure that if you can, you want to help your family, make sure that anything happens that you won't get the brunt of it and you still be able to take care of yourself. So let me talk you about the culture. Now, and let me tell you about the apartment buildings down here. Most apartment buildings down here, they got a slew of apartment buildings. In Cobb County, the cost of living is really high. If you look at the I guess you call it the average living earnings, well, it looks like a whole lot because I believe those are the rich people that owns all these apartments. I was amazed how many this Atlanta, period, what I've seen, Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, and downtown Atlanta, and the suburbs, all apartments, real cool apartments. So just know when you come down here, you might have average apartments are like 4 floors. 4 floors. And I'll definitely go on Yelp and see if they got roaches. Because let me tell you about the roaches, because they call them water bugs. They ain't water bugs. They this big, and they move fast. I don't know if they're coming out the sewer or what, but they're roaches and they this big. And I think they are very quick, and I think they fly too. So just realize they'll call them water bugs, but they roaches, okay? So make sure you do your Yelp, make sure you do your reviews, visit the place, and ask people if you have to. And another thing too, when you go to an apartment, try to get an exit. Unless it's a 50 and over apartment, try to get it where you can come in one place and go out the other. There's a lot of theft when there's only one entrance. I'm going to tell you why, because I found that out when I stayed at one apartment. Not there was a theft on me, but they were stealing all the exercise equipment out. I'm going to tell you what they did. Because who going to steal a big treadmill? And it's at the front of the apartment complex because they had people watching and looking out. So there's no other end. And so they can know when the police come. So if you single and you coming down by yourself, don't tell nobody you by yourself. Tell them you got a slew of relatives somewhere in Clayton County. You got some slew of relatives in DeKalb County. Don't say you by yourself because they're going to see you as an easy target. And stop telling all your business. Close your mouth. Don't tell them, and other than the rent, don't tell them where you get your source of income. Don't tell them when you're getting some money. Don't tell them none of that. The best thing is to keep your mouth closed, because I'm telling you, these apartments in Atlanta, they're very, very transient. You get people moving in and people moving out. You tell one person, everybody gonna know your business. Not that you got something to hide, but why? Why should they even know? So let me tell you about Kennesaw. Now, Kennesaw is part of Carr County, and Kennesaw is special because a lot of people don't know, but you can go on YouTube and find out that Kennesaw has a law where every family member must carry a gun. I mean, not carry a gun, correction. That's permit to carry for police officers, former police officers like me. No, they are required to have, each family to have own a gun as far as having it in your home. So know that. And on top of that, KSU is a lot. If anybody know Michigan, like Ann Arbor, if you're in a college town where there's a university like Michigan State University, and you'll notice that it's like a college town because they have KSU, which is Kennesaw State University. So they real big on that. And you have a lot of police. You have the Cobb County Police, you have the Kennesaw Police, you have the Aqua Police, and you have the State Police. So it's heavily police. Now, the only issue I really had when I came down here is like I got challenged by a lot of black women. I don't know why. And I think what it was is that, because I didn't want them paying. Oh, this is what I did. I got challenged by a group of people. And that's going to be a book, by the way. And this apartment complex, because when you get into affordable housing, realize that you're going to have people on Section 8, you're going to have people that can pay regularly, and you can have people, I was paying regular rent, but you have the Section 8, then you got people with affordable housing, and then you got the regular renters. But in that, you got a mixed community. But a lot of those people were in Section 8, came from one apartment complex which they tore down, and they end up going into these other apartments. So you got people, sometimes, I'm not saying Section 8 is bad. People are bad because we came from welfare, but we were taught to mind our business and leave people's property alone. But when they see you by yourself, when they often see me by myself, 99% of the time, they thought I was an easy target. So that's why when I seen you come down here, close your mouth, don't tell nobody nothing. But I was challenged by a lot of women to tell me not to call. I was circled by a group of people to tell me not to call the police. But little did they know I was a former police, because I had to laugh. I'm like, God, wait a minute. They don't call the police. I am a former police officer. So it was so funny because I thought they were like being, funny. But they actually surrounded me, 2 women and a man, and blocked one of the stairways. But I eventually had that solved. And that's a book that you have to see, read my book once I publish it. Okay, I'm not going to tell you the name of it. So if you coming down here, realize it's a woman. Keep your mouth closed, during the day. Do not leave your purse in the front. Do not leave your door unlocked. That's why you have a lot of these people, sliders. You see it happen in Atlanta all the time. I'm like, do y'all get it? Lock your door when you get your gas. They used to laugh at me. But see, I came from working at Wayne County Jail, so I was used to locking stuff up. And one time me and my mama we had drove up to a dollar store, because you had to realize a lot of those apartment buildings, you got to look at your surroundings. Where are the motels? Because a lot of people on parole and probations, they go to these hotels because that's where they go as lieu of them being, transient to the regular society, where they'll be off probation and parole. So a lot of them are in those motels. So just realize and watch your surroundings, because there'll be a lot of transient people on drugs, they'll be there. And so one time we drove up to the dollar store and we realized what our situation was. And I was watching. And that particular day I told Mom, don't take your purse. And so soon as she went in, the guy came up, broad daylight, because I noticed him coming into the lot. So always recognize your surroundings. And I noticed him coming because he was walking by himself. And then he came up to my door and he snatched it. But see, it was locked, because what they do is it's called snatch and grab. They'll open up your front door, because a lot of women leave their purse and stuff in the front of the floor and they grab it. In this case, they probably could have snatched it from her, because she carried everything in there, the kitchen sink. So they would have had it. But in that particular day, I said, leave your purse. So you have to be aware of where you go. Get you, and then with the COVID-19 and they're murdering our black brothers and sisters. Look, hanging people. They found 2 hangings in California. Look, what you need to do is get you one of them alarms, get yourself armed or whatever you got to do. Okay. The other thing is too. So realize that the people down here. Oh, I've been challenged by a couple. White women. I knew they were kind of brassy. Which is one the other day asked me, "Well, you taking pictures of the parking lot?" And I told her, you know what? Just go mind your own business. Go mind your own business. Real nice. Hello, but bye. And but a Karen, no, I never encountered a Karen. But one time, a couple years ago, I was in shopping and the lady told me, white lady told me, stop spending. I'm like, wow. Like you give me money. So you just laugh it off. And one time I was going to the Publix. Oh, by the way, Publix, I don't know if they're going to, I know Whole Foods. We got to ban Whole Foods. Black people got to ban Whole Foods because they won't let the workers come with the mask that says Black Lives Matter. Now, Starbucks, we were banning Starbucks, but they retracted their statements. And what they said, they're going to actually have shirts with Black Lives Matter. Because I said, shoot, Starbucks? Okay, we're going to have to, hey, boycott it is. But no, they changed, they retracted on their statement. And they're going to allow their employees to wear actually Black Lives Matter on their t-shirt. But Whole Foods, I got to stop buying flowers from y'all guys. I just found out. I just posted that today. So let me go on. Let me finish up. So when you come down here, let me tell you about the young people. The young people got it going on down here. Especially you go in Atlanta, you'll see a lot of LGBT communities. They have their Pride Day. That's big down here. If you got family, they got a lot of things for family, for the arts, the entertainment, and everything. So just know, I don't know, I think